The viewing panel flickered to life, and I felt my third stomach clench. Again, for the 17th time this cycle. My name is Varkath, Senior Compliance Officer of the Galactic Stewardship Initiative, and I have made what my clutchmates would call a catastrophic error in judgment. Though, to be fair, how was anyone supposed to know? The humans seemed so manageable at first. Officer Vorkath? My assistant Plebo hovered near the doorway, his antennae twitching nervously. The human quarters. Should I activate the security protocols? Which level? I asked, already knowing I wouldn't like the answer. All of them, sir. I slumped in my mobility chair, feeling every one of my 243 years. What did they do this time? Plebo's gill slits fluttered, a sign of profound distress among my species. They've reorganized the containment facility. Again, Deck 7 is now what they call a gym. Deck 9 has been converted into something called a brewery, and Deck 12, he paused, his color shifting from blue to a sickly green. Deck 12 is hosting what they refer to as Fight Night. Fight Night, I repeated slowly, as in, combat. Unsupervised combat. Supervised, actually. They've created an entire rule system. Apparently there's a point structure, weight classes, and mandatory safety equipment. Plebo pulled up a holographic display. They're calling it the Thunderdome Classic. There are spectators. I pinched the bridge of my nasal cavity. 3 months ago, the Galactic Council had unanimously agreed that humans required supervision. Not extinction, mind you. We're not monsters. Just oversight, management, a gentle guiding hand to prevent them from accidentally destroying themselves or, more importantly, anyone else. The vote had been unanimous. 217 species, all agreeing that humanity's recent expansion into the stars had been, to put it diplomatically, concerning. There was the incident on Proxima Station where they'd improved the life support system and somehow made it produce oxygen at 340% efficiency. The subsequent fire had been visible from 3 systems away. Then there was the trading dispute on Kelmar 5, which humans had resolved by introducing something called competitive eating contests, and challenging the Kelmar merchants to consume their own inventory. The Kelmar, being a species of proud warriors, had accepted. The medical bills alone had bankrupted an entire colony. So yes, supervision seemed reasonable. Necessary even. And I, in my infinite wisdom, had volunteered to run the first human rehabilitation and integration facility. Rehabilitation, I muttered to myself, staring at the screen where a human female named Dakota was currently hanging from an air vent, rewiring something that absolutely should not be rewired. What a joke, sir. Plebo ventured closer. Perhaps we should review today's incident report before the council inspection tomorrow. Tomorrow? My primary heart skipped a beat. The inspection is tomorrow? I thought we had another week. They moved it up. Something about growing concerns and alarming reports from monitoring stations. Plebo's voice dropped to a whisper. Sir, between you and me, I think someone's been talking. Of course someone had been talking. Probably Tharix from security, who still hadn't forgiven me for that incident where the humans had convinced him that high fives were a traditional gesture of deep respect, resulting in him enthusiastically slapping his supervisor hard enough to trigger 3 separate alarm systems. I pulled up the incident log. My optical organs widened as I scrolled through entry after entry. Day 3. Humans discovered the food synthesizer could be modified, now producing something called pizza. Morale inexplicably high. Day 8. Humans have formed a committee. Purpose unclear. Demands include better Wi-Fi, Earth TV, and someone who can explain why the showers only have 1 temperature setting. Day 15. Human designated Marcus has befriended the maintenance robots. Robots now respond to nicknames. Productivity down 12%, but robots report feeling appreciated for the first time in their operational existence. Day 23. Humans requested recreational materials, provided standard galactic meditation orbs and philosophy texts. Humans used materials to create bowling alley. Do not know what this is. Afraid to ask. Day 31. Discovered humans have been trading with other detained species. Complex barter economy established. Humans now control 67% of facilities' contraband market. Contraband includes coffee, hot sauce, playing cards, and something called meme. Day 45. Human Lyra convinced the guard droids that mandatory breaks were a galactic labor law. Droids now take breaks. Have found 3 droids napping in storage closets. The list went on, and distressingly on. Plebo, I said carefully. How many humans are currently in their assigned quarters? Define assigned, sir. The quarters we assigned them. The ones they're supposed to stay in. The locked ones. Hey. Plebo checked his datapad. 7? I felt my secondary heart start palpitating. We have 140 humans in this facility. Yes, sir. The other 133 He consulted his screen. Difficult to pin down, sir. The tracking implants seem to be malfunctioning. Malfunctioning? All of them? The humans discovered they could wrap them in what they call aluminum foil. Apparently this blocks the signal. They've been trading foil-wrapped implants amongst themselves to confuse our tracking system. I stood up, my mobility chair squeaking in protest. Take me to Section 7A. Now, sir, I should warn you that's where they've set up the... I don't care what they've set up. That section houses our most concerning case. Trent Wolfe. Plebo's color shifted again, this time to a pale yellow. Sir, perhaps we should bring security. For one human. It's Trent Wolfe, sir. He had a point. Trent Wolfe was the reason we'd implemented 3 additional security levels. The human who upon arrival had taken one look at his containment cell and asked if we were serious with this weak stuff. 2 days later he'd not only escaped but had left a note with detailed instructions on how to improve our security systems. We'd found him in the facility's command center, feet up on the console, eating something he'd synthesized himself. When asked what he was doing, he'd simply said, "Waiting for you guys to notice. Took you long enough. Your coffee's terrible, by the way." He had fixed it. Our morning stimulant beverage was now 400% more effective and actually tasted good. Half the staff was addicted. The walk to Section 7A took 12 minutes. 12 minutes during which I passed humans engaged in various unauthorized activities. One group was teaching the kitchen staff about spices. Another was conducting what appeared to be an educational seminar for the janitorial crew about efficiency hacks. A third was playing an elaborate game involving thrown spheres and pins, which I recognized from the incident reports as bowling. They all greeted me cheerfully. "Hey, Vorkath. What's up, boss? Looking good today, sir." One human, a young male named Jamie, actually stopped to ask how my day was going. When was the last time anyone had asked me that? Finally we reached Section 7A. The door was ajar. Obviously. "Mr. Wolfe?" I called out, my voice translator crackling slightly. "I need to speak with you." "Door's open," came the reply. "Well, obviously it's open. Your locks are garbage. But come on in anyway." I exchanged a glance with Plebo, who looked like he wanted to be anywhere else in the galaxy. Together we entered. Trent Wolfe sat at a desk he'd clearly assembled from spare parts. The walls were covered in what humans called posters, showing various Earth landscapes in something called motivational quotes. He'd somehow acquired a proper chair, a small refrigeration unit, and what appeared to be a functioning entertainment system. "Gentlemen." Trent stood, grinning widely. He was tall for a human with dark skin, close-cropped hair, and an expression of perpetual amusement. Perfect timing. I was just about to call a meeting. "A meeting?" I repeated. "You were going to call a meeting? In a detention facility where you are the detainee? Semantics. Vorkath. Semantics." He gestured to 2 chairs that definitely hadn't been there yesterday. "Sit. Sit. We need to talk about tomorrow." How did he know about tomorrow? The inspection was classified information. My left eye began to twitch. "Mr. Wolfe. How did you—" "Oh, please. Your communications system is less secure than a wet paper bag. I've been monitoring council chatter for weeks." He leaned back, fingers interlaced behind his head. "And between you and me, you're in deep trouble. The council thinks this facility is a disaster. They're considering scrapping the whole program." "Scrapping it?" Plebo squeaked. "But what would happen to all of you?" Trent's expression turned serious. "That's the question, isn't it? Some species want to send us back to Earth with a big stay there sign. Others think we should be scattered across the galaxy, 1 human per planet, maximum. And a few." He paused. "A few think we're too dangerous to be left unsupervised anywhere." The implications hung in the air like a toxic cloud. Too dangerous could mean a lot of things, none of them good. "So," Trent continued, "I have a proposal. A way to show the council that this facility isn't a failure. That humans don't need to be locked away or eliminated. We just need—" He smiled. "Different management." "Different management?" I felt my spines bristle. "I am a senior compliance officer with 40 years of experience, and I'm sure you're great at compliance, Vorkath. Really top-notch. But that's not what we need." Trent stood, walking to his wall of posters. He pointed to one that read, Embrace the chaos. You've been trying to contain us, control us, make us fit into your neat little boxes and follow your neat little rules. That's literally what a detention facility is for. Right. But here's the thing. Trent turned back to me. Humans don't work like that. We're not chaos for the sake of chaos. We're problem solvers. Innovators. We see something broken, and we fix it. We see something that could be better, and we make it better. You can't suppress that. It's like trying to stop water from being wet. Water isn't wet, technically, Plebo muttered. It makes things wet. Exactly, Trent pointed at him. See? You get it. We make things wet. Wait. No, that came out wrong. We make things better. We improve stuff. I sat down heavily. Mr. Wolf, the council inspection is tomorrow. What exactly are you proposing? Let us show them what we've actually accomplished here. Not the rule breaking. Not the unauthorized modifications, but the results. He pulled up a holographic display of his own, much clearer than our standard equipment. Your facility efficiency is up 34%. Staff satisfaction has increased by 5. Interdepartmental cooperation is at an all-time high. And you know why? I did know why. It was in every report, every incident log, every frustrated message from department heads. The humans, Trent confirmed. We've been helping, teaching, sharing. Yeah, we bent some rules and broke some protocols, but look at what we've built. The robots are happy. The staff is happy. Even the other detainees are happy. When's the last time you had a detention facility where everyone was happy? Never, I admitted. But the council wants order, structure, predictability. The council wants results, Trent countered. And we've got results. We've just got to package them right. He leaned forward, his expression intent. Let me help you, Vorkath. Let us help you. Tomorrow when the council arrives, they're going to see a facility unlike any other in the galaxy, and it's going to be spectacular. There was something about his confidence that was simultaneously reassuring and terrifying. And if it goes wrong, then we're all screwed anyway, so we might as well go down swinging. He offered his hand, a human gesture I'd learned meant agreement or partnership. What do you say, boss? Ready to trust a human, against every instinct, every regulation, and every ounce of common sense I possessed. I reached out and clasped his hand. His grip was firm, warm, and entirely too confident. This is a terrible idea, I said. The best ideas usually are, Trent replied with a grin. Now let's talk about tomorrow's demonstration schedule. I'm thinking we start with the brewers, move to the engineers, and finish with a grand finale that'll blow their minds. Oh, and Vorkath, yes, you're going to need to trust me to go into the human sections alone tomorrow. All of them. Can you do that? I looked at this human, this species that had been labeled too dangerous to roam free, too chaotic to self-govern, too unpredictable to trust. I thought about the improved efficiency, the happy staff, the sense of community that had somehow bloomed in a detention facility. I don't know, I said honestly. Fair enough, Trent said. But tomorrow you're going to find out. As Plebo and I left Section 7I, I heard Trent already on his communicator rallying the other humans. All right, people, listen up. Tomorrow we show these guys what humans are really made of. Dakota, I need those modifications finished. Marcus, get the robots polished and ready. Lyra, coordinate with the kitchen staff. Jamie, you're on morale duty. And someone please tell me we've figured out how to make that demonstration drone do a backflip. I looked at Plebo. What have I done? I believe, sir, Plebo said slowly. You've just made the humans your partners. May the stars have mercy on us all. Indeed. I watched the door close behind us. Indeed. Tomorrow would either be my greatest triumph or my final disaster. With humans there seemed to be no middle ground. And the most terrifying part, I was starting to think that was exactly how they liked it. I did not sleep that night. How could I? My terminal kept pinging with updates from across the facility, each one more alarming than the last. 2:47 a.m. Human activity detected in engineering bay. Energy signatures abnormal. 3:15 a.m. Multiple humans observed moving large objects through corridor 9. Purpose unknown. 5:52 a.m. Kitchen staff reports humans have requisitioned 17 kilograms of synthesized protein. Destination unspecified. 4:30 a.m. Maintenance robots forming unusual patterns in Central Plaza. Behavior described as synchronized dancing. By the time morning cycle began, I had consumed 4 times my normal stimulant intake and was seriously considering faking my own death and fleeing to a remote moon colony. Plebo arrived at my office looking equally exhausted. The council delegation arrives in 3 hours, he announced, his voice flat with resignation. Should I prepare the evacuation pods? Tempting. But no. I stood, adjusting my formal compliance robes. The fabric felt heavier than usual, or perhaps that was just the weight of impending doom. Have you heard from Trent Wolfe? He sent a message at 5:00 a.m. It said, and I quote, "Everything's primo. Trust the process. P.S. Your inspection team is going to love the surprise." Plebo's antennae drooped. Sir, I'm frightened by the word surprise. As am I, Plebo. As am I. I gathered my data pads, each one loaded with carefully prepared reports, statistics and defensive arguments for why this facility should not be immediately terminated. Let us go greet our doom with dignity, shall we? The docking bay was pristine. Too pristine. Someone had clearly been cleaning, and I had a sinking suspicion. Who? As the council transport ship docked, I noticed small details that had not been there yesterday. Fresh paint on the walls. Properly aligned lighting panels. Even the air smelled better, like someone had installed actual air filtration improvements instead of the standard recycled atmosphere. The airlock hissed open, and out stepped Counselor Thrain, a towering being from the Zephrate Collective. Her crystalline form refracted light in patterns that typically indicated disapproval. Behind her came 4 other counselors representing various species across the galaxy, all wearing expressions ranging from skepticism to outright hostility. Officer Vorkath, Thrain's voice resonated like wind chimes in a hurricane. We have arrived to assess the viability of this experiment. I trust you are prepared for our inspection. Absolutely, Counselor. I forced confidence into my voice. If you'll follow me, I have prepared a comprehensive tour of our facilities and a presentation demonstrating the significant progress we've made in human integration. No, I blinked. I'm sorry? No presentations. No prepared tours. We want to see the facility as it actually operates. Thrain moved past me with a sound like breaking glass. We want to see the humans in their natural state, not whatever sanitized performance you've arranged. My secondary stomach clenched so hard I thought it might turn inside out. Of course, Counselor. However, I should mention that the humans have been made aware of your visit and may have prepared certain demonstrations of their own. Unacceptable. We will conduct surprise inspections of random sections. She consulted her datapad. We shall begin with Section 7A. I understand this houses your most problematic subject, Trent Wolfe. Of course they wanted to start with Trent Wolfe. The universe had a cruel sense of humor. Counselor, perhaps we should start with one of the more organized sections. The residential quarters are quite orderly and Section 7A. Now, we walked in silence through the corridors. I kept waiting for something to go catastrophically wrong. A fire, an explosion, a human riding one of the maintenance robots like some kind of mechanical beast. But everything was eerily quiet. Too quiet. When we reached Section 7A, the door was properly closed for once. I entered the security code with trembling appendages. The door slid open. Trent Wolfe sat at his desk reading. Actually reading from an honest-to-stars physical book. He looked up as we entered, his expression pleasantly surprised. Oh, Counselor Thrain, what an honor. He stood smoothly, setting down his book. I caught the title Advanced Diplomatic Protocol in Multi-Species Environments. Where had he even gotten that? Please come in. I apologize for the informal setting, but as you can imagine, personal quarters in a detention facility are somewhat limited. Thrain moved into the room, her form shifting colors as she analyzed everything. You are Trent Wolfe. Your file indicates 17 security breaches, 42 protocol violations, and 1 incident involving the complete rewiring of a command console. I prefer to think of them as improvements, Counselor. But yes, technically accurate. Trent's smile never wavered. Though I should note that those security breaches did result in a comprehensive report on system vulnerabilities that I believe Officer Vorkath found quite useful. All eyes turned to me. I cleared my throat. The report was thorough. We implemented several of his suggestions. Our security rating improved by 2 full grades. You improved security based on the recommendations of a prisoner who broke that security. Another counselor, a slug-like being named Morthan, oozed forward. This seems highly irregular. With respect, Counselor Morthan. Wouldn't you rather have someone identify your weaknesses before an actual hostile entity does? Trent moved to his wall display, bringing up a schematic. Every system has vulnerabilities. Pretending they don't exist doesn't make them go away. It just means you're unprepared when someone exploits them. A convenient philosophy for someone who makes a habit of exploitation. Thrain observed. Fair point. Trent nodded. But consider this. In the 3 months I've been here, how many actual security incidents have occurred? Not my testing, not my improvements, but actual malicious breaches. Silence. Because the answer was 0. Despite housing 140 humans, numerous other detained species, and running at near capacity, we had not had a single genuine security incident. That is because of increased surveillance and stricter protocols, Thrain said, though her tone suggested she did not quite believe it. Actually, counselor, if I may, I pulled up my own datapad. Security incidents have decreased, but surveillance has remained constant. The stricter protocols were implemented based on Mr. Wolf's recommendations, which actually made our systems more efficient and less intrusive. Staff hours dedicated to security monitoring have decreased by 23%, while security effectiveness has increased. Show me the rest of the facility, Thrain commanded. I want to see these other humans. Immediately, we moved through the corridors, and I noticed more changes. Every section we passed was clean, organized, and functioning smoothly. The lighting was perfect, the air quality optimal, and there were humans everywhere, but they were not causing chaos. They were helping. In Engineering Bay, we found a human named Dakota working alongside our chief engineer, a multi-limbed being named Sklor. They were so focused on their work that they did not even notice us at first. What are you doing? Thrain demanded. Sklor jumped, nearly dropping a plasma torch. Counselor, we are updating the power distribution network. This human has identified an efficiency improvement that could increase our output by 18% while reducing energy waste. You are allowing a detained human to modify critical infrastructure. With respect, counselor, Dakota spoke up, wiping grease from her hands. I'm not modifying anything without supervision and approval. Sklor reviews every change. We're partners, not prisoner and guard. She gestured to the schematic between them. Look, your current system routes power through 17 junction points. My design cuts that to 9 by using adaptive load balancing. It's not revolutionary, just practical. Thrain examined the schematic in silence. Finally, she turned to Sklor. This design is sound. More than sound, counselor. It is brilliant. I have been trying to optimize this system for 6 years. She solved it in 2 weeks. We moved on. In the medical bay, we found a human named Lyra teaching basic first aid to a group of junior medical staff. In the recreation area, humans were playing something called basketball with members of 3 different species, all laughing and working together. In the kitchen, humans had organized a cooking class teaching alien staff about flavor combinations and food preparation techniques. Every section told the same story. Humans working alongside aliens. Teaching, learning, improving, not destroying, not causing chaos. Building something better. This is orchestrated, Thrain said finally. A performance for our benefit. Then let's test that theory. Trent Wolf had somehow appeared beside us. I had not even heard him approach. Counselor, pick any human, any section, any question. No preparation, no warning. If this is a performance, it'll fall apart immediately. Thrain's form pulsed with what might have been interest, or irritation. Possibly both. Very well. Section 12C. The one your reports indicated was hosting authorized combat events. My heart sank. Fight night. She wanted to see fight night. We arrived at Section 12C and I steeled myself for disaster. The door opened, revealing a large open space that had been completely transformed. The room was set up like an arena, with safety barriers, proper lighting, and what appeared to be a professional medical station off to one side. About 30 beings, human and alien alike, filled the space. In the center, 2 humans were engaged in what looked like structured combat, but they were wearing protective gear and following clear rules. A third human stood outside the ring, apparently serving as a referee. Stop, Thrain commanded. Everything froze. The fighters stepped apart immediately, breathing hard but unhurt. The referee human, a stocky male named Marcus, approached us. Counselors, welcome to the Thunderdome Classic. We're currently in the middleweight semifinals. Can we help you with something? You are fighting, Morthan observed with his usual gift for stating the obvious. We're sparring, actually. Controlled combat training. It's excellent exercise, teaches discipline and provides a safe outlet for competitive instincts. Marcus gestured to the rules posted on the wall. We have strict safety protocols, mandatory protective equipment, and a trained medical team on standby. No one has been seriously injured in 6 weeks of operation. 6 weeks? I felt faint. This has been going on for 6 weeks? Well, yeah. It's in the incident reports. Marcus looked confused. We filed all the proper documentation. I pulled up my datapad. There it was, buried in subsection 7, paragraph 14. Human recreational combat program established with safety oversight and medical supervision. I had read it as another complaint, not an actual organized activity. And these non-humans? Thrain gestured to several aliens watching from the sidelines. They participate. Some do, some just watch. It's optional. Marcus pointed to a tall insectoid being. That's Crix. He won last week's light heavyweight division. Turned out he's got incredible reflexes and natural armor plating. Completely fair fight though. We adjust rules based on species physiology. Crix clicked forward. This human combat training has improved my confidence and physical conditioning by measurable degrees. I request that it continue. Other voices joined in, alien and human alike, all speaking in favor of the program. I stood there watching my carefully ordered facility reveal itself to be something entirely different than what I had thought. Not a prison where humans were contained, but a community where they had integrated. Thrain was silent for a long moment, her form shifting through several color patterns I could not interpret. Finally, she turned to me. Officer Vorkath, I require a private conversation with you and the human Trent Wolf. Now, we reconvened in my office. I prepared myself for termination, disgrace, possibly being charged with incompetence. Thrain positioned herself near the window, looking out at the facility. This is not what we expected, she said finally. I know, Counselor. I take full responsibility. I did not say it was bad, officer. She turned to face us. The council sent me here expecting to find chaos. Humans running rampant, guards overwhelmed, systems failing. Instead, I find the most efficiently run facility in the entire detention network. Staff satisfaction is unprecedented, incident rates are minimal, and somehow impossibly the humans are not just contained but contributing. We told you, Trent said simply. We don't need supervision in the way you think. We need opportunity. Purpose. A chance to be useful, but you were detained for legitimate reasons. Your species has caused considerable disruption across multiple systems. Because we were bored. Trent spread his hands. Counselor, think about it. You brought us out into the galaxy, gave us all this amazing technology and alien cultures and infinite possibilities, and then got upset when we started poking at things. That's what we do. We poke, we prod, we ask what if, and why not, and can we make this better? So your solution is to give you more things to poke at. Our solution, I interjected, surprising myself, is to give them challenges worth solving. Direction without suppression. Structure without imprisonment. I pulled up the facility statistics. Look at the results, Counselor. This worked, not because we locked humans away, but because we gave them something to do. Thrain studied the data for several minutes. When she finally spoke, her voice carried a tone I had never heard from her before. Something almost like amusement. The Council is going to hate this. Probably, Trent agreed cheerfully. They will say it is too risky. Too unpredictable. They will argue that humans should be isolated, restricted, possibly even contained on their homeworld permanently. My heart sank. It was over. We had failed. However, Thrain continued, I am not convinced that is the correct solution. This facility proves that human integration is possible, even beneficial when properly managed. She turned to me. Officer Vorkath, how would you feel about expanding this program? I blinked all three eyes in rapid succession. Expanding? There are 47 other detention facilities across the galaxy, all struggling with similar issues. Poor efficiency, low morale, high incident rates. If the human model works here, perhaps it could work elsewhere. She looked at Trent. And you, human, would your people be willing to help? Trent's grin could have lit up a small moon. Counselor, there are 7 billion humans on Earth who would absolutely love to help make the galaxy a better place. You just have to ask nicely and, not treat us like dangerous children. I make no promises about the treatment, Thrain said dryly. But I will take your proposal to the Council. Officer Vorkath will prepare a detailed report on this facility's operations, including the human integration protocols. We will review it and determine if this experiment should become a template. After the delegation left, I found myself alone in the observation deck watching the facility below. Humans and aliens worked together, laughed together, built something together. In Section 12C, another bout was underway, the crowd cheering enthusiastically. In the engineering bay, Dakota and Sklor were still hunched over their schematics. In the kitchen, someone was teaching someone else how to make something called pasta. Trent joined me at the window, carrying 2 cups of that improved coffee he had created. "So," he said, handing me a cup. "Still think we need supervision?" I took a sip. The beverage was perfect, as always. "I think, Mr. Wolf, that perhaps the entire galaxy needs to redefine what supervision means. You do not need wardens. You need partners." "Exactly." He clinked his cup against mine. "Partners. I like that. Though I'm still going to break your security systems occasionally just to keep you on your toes. I would expect nothing less." I allowed myself a small smile. "Though I will continue to write incident reports about it." "Fair." He looked down at the facility. "You know what the funny thing is? You were all so afraid of what humans might do that you never stopped to ask what we wanted to do. Most of us just want to help. To build. To make things better. Yeah, we're chaotic and unpredictable, and we definitely don't follow the rules very well. But that's not a flaw of Vorkath. That's our strength. I am beginning to understand that." I set down my cup. "Though I suspect tomorrow I will discover 17 new things you have modified without permission." "Probably. But they'll be improvements. I promise." As I watched the sun set over the facility, painting the walls in shades of orange and purple, I realized something profound. The galaxy had spent so much effort trying to control humanity that it had never considered befriending them. Fear had blinded us to opportunity, and now, thanks to 1 detention facility, 1 desperate compliance officer, and 140 incredibly stubborn humans, that was about to change. The next morning, Plebo found me already at my desk, working on the report for the council. He looked surprised to see me in such good spirits. "Sir? You seem almost happy. I did not think that was an emotion you experienced." "Plebo, we are about to turn the entire galactic detention system on its head by proving that the most dangerous species in the galaxy makes the best teachers, engineers, and friends." I pulled up a fresh document. "I have never been more terrified or more excited in my entire life." "Should I prepare for disaster?" "Oh, absolutely. But also prepare for success. With humans, we get both simultaneously." Through my window, I could see Trent organizing a group of humans for some new project. Whatever it was, it probably violated at least 6 regulations. It would also probably be brilliant. I had asked if I could trust a human. The answer, I now knew, was yes. But the better question was whether the galaxy was ready to trust them back. We were about to find out, and honestly, I could not wait to see what happened next.